Hey everybody, Alan Weber here from the Mayor's office on a snowy Wednesday afternoon in beautiful Santa Fe. Cold, crystal, snowy. Streets are clear thanks to our amazing streets team. Great job by them, but it's still snowing, and so please drive carefully. As always, I want to start with COVID-19 and the Novid app. Novid. Download the Novid app. It is completely anonymous and safe, and it gives you an early warning system to let you know if you are near someone who is tested positive for COVID. We all know the same thing. Nationally, internationally, globally, there's a new big spike of COVID cases. It's happening all over the world. It's happening in every city in America. El Paso is in deep trouble. New Mexico, we are spiking and we are fighting back to flatten the curve. Yesterday we had 19 cases, but the day before that we had 42 cases. The day before that, 38, 48, 56, then 17. Our week average, rolling 7-day average, is almost 41 cases per day. We know that's what's happening, and we know we can stop it. We can bring that number down. We can bring the curve down. We did it before. We had on the WebberCast last week Dr. Johnson from La Familia. She was phenomenal. We'll have other people coming to participate with these webcasts as we get more information, more data, and more ideas about what we can do. The obvious thing to do is to go back to the basics. Do what worked before. I'm going to start with the simplest one. If you don't need to go out and run an errand, stay home. Stay home, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. When you do go out, wear a face mask. When family comes to visit, we love family. We want to hug family. We want to be close. This is the time to practice even there whatever social distancing you can bring to your family. If you've got a young person in your family who wants to go out and participate in outdoor activities or have a party or a get-together, remind them that they are community leaders now. They are the ambassador of health to their own family, because we know that young people, while they are getting sick, and the numbers that Dr. Johnson brought us told us that that younger cohort, 20 to 40 in that neighborhood, was now becoming sick, we still know that the people who are most at risk are older, people with immunocompromised systems, people who are grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles. Those young folks have got to be on the front edge of protecting the whole family. The numbers that I see and the information that I get from the public health experts here in New Mexico and in Santa Fe tell me that a lot of the COVID spread is happening within families as people in wintertime move indoors, become closer together, and lose the discipline we had because it's hard. It's more fun to be with family, and so we let our guard down. When we let our guard down, the numbers go up. So please be mindful. Get that Novid app, Novid. It's free. You can download it. The city government is working with the professor at Carnegie Mellon who created this app with a team. So we'll have even better information, more data, and we're eager to get that information to you. We're also doing our best to work with the governor and her team so that there is more compliance with the face mask requirements. We want you to be safe, and the data always say the same thing. Face masks help prevent the spread of COVID-19. The droplets apparently stay in the air or survive longer in the colder weather, so we're more likely to come into contact with those droplets, even if it's after a little bit longer time than the summertime allowed for. All the more reason to be sure to cover up. It protects you, it protects your family. Okay. Second thing I want to really talk about is voting. This is going to be a very important election, no matter what party or non-party you belong to. I think we all agree that the votes in this election are really important as an expression of democracy. Democracy is not a spectator sport. We all participate. Voter participation is a measure of how much we put ourselves into our community. Right now, there's same-day voter registration now through Saturday, and voting is going on. The numbers seem very high, which is great. At the same time, across the country, we're getting reports in some locations that people are trying to keep you from voting. And our job in Santa Fe County, northern New Mexico, and across the state is to assure everyone that their vote and their voice will count. If you encounter something that represents an effort to keep you from voting, let me know or the county clerk. She really is the person who is running our election. We want your vote to count. We want you to be able to vote with great confidence that your vote will be counted. So please exercise the right to vote. Take on the responsibility of participating in this election. Encourage your friends and family and neighbors to vote. Let's get the highest vote turnout in the history of Santa Fe in this election. A couple other things I want to bring to your attention. Then I want to talk a little bit about the so-called chart committee that is being proposed, that I've proposed, that's being worked on by each of the committees of the governing body. So let me get to that in a minute. First, going back to health, get your flu shot. The Department of Health reported the first case of flu in the 2020-2021 season. A flu shot will not only protect you from the flu, if you do get the flu, it'll help make that case much milder, and it will certainly protect you from the double whammy of COVID and flu being as severe and detrimental to your health. So please get your flu shot. The vaccine is available. Please take advantage. For people who are dealing with the economic impacts of COVID-19, there are a couple of things you need to know about. Thursday, October 29th, tomorrow morning from 7 to 9 a.m., the Food Depot is doing a food distribution at 1222 Seiler Road, 7 to 9. If you need help, ask for help. That's what they're there for. If you have extra help you want to give, if you want to make a contribution, you want to support the Food Depot and its mission, please send them a contribution. They really are doing an exceptional job of getting food out into our community. Help them, write them a check, send them a contribution. Mortgage assistance is another big issue for a lot of our residents, a lot of our friends and family here in Santa Fe. Monday, November 2nd, the New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority will begin accepting applications for the new COVID-19 Housing Cost Assistance Program. The program will provide qualifying New Mexicans with as much as $1,500 per month for up to 3 months to pay back rent or mortgage payments and other housing costs. You can find out about it. You can go to the MFA's website. New Mexico Mortgage Finance Authority has a website. If you go there, they will provide information on how you can get help. There's other help available, and that is the Santa Fe County Housing Authority is accepting applications for what they call ERMAP, E-R-M-A-P, which stands for Emergency Rental and Mortgage Assistance Program. Here you can get the information from the county's website. There's a frequently asked questions section. The goal is to help people who qualify to get some assistance with their rent or mortgage. very important. We are also, both the city and the county, working to push out the CARES Act funding that we got from the state. The small business grants are moving forward with the city's economic development team and the county's economic development team working collaboratively with the town of Edgewood. Similarly, we have CARES Act money that we're moving forward through our Community Services Department, working with the county on the Connect platform. If you need help, if you feel that you could benefit from some extra help in these COVID-19 times and as winter arrives, please go to the Connect program. Go to the city's website. You'll find it. Ask for help. We want to give you help. The contracts are moving forward with the money that we were allocated, and I'll bring you an update as soon as I get a breakout of how that money is being moved, where it is, what the uses are going for the most part. We'll have an update very soon. Congratulations to newly promoted Sergeant Eric Ramirez from the Santa Fe Police Department. I was able to go over to the police department Monday for a promotion ceremony, growing leadership from within the ranks of the Santa Fe Police Department, giving people who have distinguished themselves, like Sergeant Ramirez, the recognition he very much deserves for himself and his wife and family. Congratulations for that. There's a city council meeting that begins, in about 2 hours. And so please tune in. You can go to the city's website. You can go to the YouTube channel, which will be carrying it. Please listen, watch, participate. Finally, the CHART committee. It's called CHART for Culture, Histories, Art, Reconciliation, Truth. This is a body, a committee that I've proposed. It is now being talked about, discussed in all three of the city's standing committees. We have 3 standing committees. For those of you who are not familiar with the formal structure of city government, the governing body is obviously all of us when we meet together, but the 3 committees include a finance committee, a public works, public utilities committee, and a quality of life committee. And this proposal will go through all 3 committees on its way to the governing body. It is a proposal that I drafted after talking with a broad cross-section of people, not only in Santa Fe, but in northern New Mexico, Albuquerque, other parts of the country where they've had these kinds of committees, spoke with our congressional delegation. It is very important that this work be done in a way that meets the test of our community's values. It has to be broadly representative. It has to have people who are of goodwill, who want to work collaboratively to find consensus at a time when our entire country is more divided than ever. We see people arguing within families. We see people arguing who used to be friends and now have created boundaries between themselves. And here in Santa Fe, because we are such a tight-knit community based on shared values, I believe that we have the ability to set a national example for talking honestly, candidly, forthrightly about our differences, but also about our deep shared values, the things that hold us together. And this committee, as I've described it, will have 3 works, 3 tasks to take on. First is deep listening, to go out into our community with outreach and with engagement, to make sure that everyone has their voice heard about issues of history, culture, art, both our deep past, our current, present, and what we want for the future. I hope we'll be able to videotape the stories of as many people in Santa Fe and northern New Mexico who want to talk about what they love about our city, what their family has brought to our city, what they care about most deeply, and how they believe we can find our way forward as a unified community. Second task is to look at all of the memorials, the statues, the works of art that are in Santa Fe and come up with guidelines for how we should treat them? How do we provide real context for what those statues and memorials mean, what they represent, the story they tell, and also recommend where we don't have memorials or statues or works of art that would tell an even deeper story about who we are. Third piece of work is to look at narratives and histories of Santa Fe and northern New Mexico. I have a dozen histories at home of New Mexico, Santa Fe, northern New Mexico. I just read a terrific essay in the current issue of the New Mexico Historical magazine, journal, talking about New Mexico history and land and the blending of cultures in our community. We have probably the richest, deepest, oldest, most complex, most remarkable history of any part of the United States of America. We need to look at those histories and compare them and respect and honor all of those histories, all of the versions, all of the points of view, all of the deep-held values that are embedded in those histories, and then weave them into a story about who we are as a people, how we live together as a community, and what we want for our children and our grandchildren. I see those three tasks as the essential work of this committee. As I've proposed it, it would have roughly 21 people on it. That would allow the big group of 21 to break down into 3 subcommittees, each subcommittee of 6 or 7 to address one of those 3 tasks, and to do it at their own rate. If we can move faster on statues, monuments, if we can come up with a new proposal for the plaza quickly, and we all agree on it, it really captures the spirit of our community, that can move very, very quickly, perhaps, depending on the work of the committee. Something that takes more time, perhaps the work of narrative development, history writing, a curriculum that faces our histories and brings those histories forward, that may take more time. Maybe there's even the development of a citywide reading list that we could all participate in, where we have a community history lesson that comes out of this committee. That could happen as soon as the City Council adopts a resolution. We get nominations of people to serve on this committee from across our community, people who represent all points of view, all backgrounds, all skills. We need people who have different types of abilities and expertise. We need historians. We need art and culture experts. We need people who understand how to listen deeply and respectfully. We need people who represent all of our community. As soon as we get a resolution adopted and nominations into the city and a selection process, then we go to work. I've already reached out to some philanthropies to get grant funding to help support this work. I believe this is of such critical importance that we need to do it right, we need to do it well, we need to do it respectfully, we need to have the support so that it really has a shot at listening, collating, synthesizing, producing something we can all believe in going forward. I don't believe that the work of any committee will ever resolve all differences in any community. That's as true in parts of the North that are currently arguing about policing in places like Minneapolis. That's not a one-year process. That's an ongoing conversation. Same is true in cities across the country where statues and monuments have been at issue, on college campuses where we've seen long-standing names of dormitories or of programs that happen to be named after people who had a past of owning slaves. Entire universities have looked into their hearts to see what they want to stand for in the future. And that work doesn't get done on a timetable. It is a conversation that begins on a timetable, represents progress, presents recommendations that we can act on, but then continues on an ongoing basis as we achieve more reconciliation, more understanding, more views of how our friends and our neighbors, our brothers and sisters, really are all the same when we look at each other in the eye, look at our value as people. You think about a city that is the city of holy faith, that is Santa Fe. And that recognition that we're all brothers and sisters really is what ties us together. It is the deepest spiritual bond that we need to acknowledge, recognize, and live by as we go forward. There's no denying these are hard times. Not just in Santa Fe. Actually, we're blessed to be in Santa Fe compared to many of the cities around America that are really struggling. We are in a place where people genuinely care about each other. And now is the time to show that compassion, that empathy, and that caring, whether it's through a contribution to the food depot, running an errand for your neighbor, helping them stay safe and healthy, talking to your kids about what they need to do to be ambassadors of health. That's the conversation we need to have, and it derives from a very deep internal place that we all tap into of heart and spirit. At the same time, there's an election going on, and I got an email this morning from a resident who said that their neighborhood had been vandalized by people spray painting slogans on their political signs and denigrating them for their political views. That's not Santa Fe. That's not how we treat each other. We can disagree, but we don't attack each other. We can have different and divergent points of view, but we respect each other. So please carry on with a spirit of empathy. Carry on with a spirit of compassion. Carry on with a spirit of community in our hearts, even when the outside world is hurling accusations at each other and tweets. Social media turns people against each other. Turn that off. Turn that off. Pay attention to what's in our heart. Pay attention to what's in our community, the best of who we are. And let's stand together. Let's work together. And let's keep our health and our well-being in the forefront, even as the election comes toward us very quickly, and the vote and the count thereafter and the disagreement that may boil up after that. Let us be a beacon of peace and respect and understanding. Please, if you can, say thank you to someone for helping. Say thank you to a city worker for cleaning the streets. Say thank you to a police officer for keeping us safe, a firefighter for going out on a call where someone has fallen and needs help. Say thank you to the men and women who are our frontline healthcare workers who are every day working to keep people healthy and safe in the face of this pandemic. Say thank you to our teachers, to the people who are working with our kids, our counselors. These are the people who are really the glue of our community and the salt of the earth. And we love them dearly, and we thank them, we respect them, and we honor them. So please do your part. Keep peace in your heart. Let's all go out and vote, and then let's peacefully accept the vote. Let's honor the vote. Let's keep democracy alive and keep our community together as we deal with COVID-19, the economic impacts of COVID-19. All of these issues make 2020 a very difficult year. It won't end with the beginning of 2021. It's not a turn of the clock is a magic solution, but as we bend the curve by keeping safe, as we keep calm and some of this money from CARES Act gets out on the street, there is a way forward, and it keeps us together, and it reminds us of who we are. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Remember, there's a city council meeting at 4 p.m. today. There is a food distribution tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 at the Food Depot at 1222 Siler. If you need help, please ask for it. We have help that we can provide. Till I see you next time, please stay safe, stay healthy. Remember the basic protocols of fighting COVID-19. Wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance. If you can stay home, stay home. Take care of yourself. Please take care of your family. Take care of your community. We will all take care of each other, and I will see you next time.